I like how, somebody asked Jeff Ashley this week if, when is he going to start like putting more wrinkles into this defensive game plan? And he's like, why? Right? Like, sure, there's stuff that we haven't seen, that you haven't seen, and we haven't shown anyone, but like, I'm really proud of this team and how this defense is functioning with fundamentals and doing an amazing job with the fundamentals right now. Why would we need to reinvent the wheel of this defense? And I think in Lincoln, it was the fundamentals that led to these turnovers. It was these players taking all of the wrinkles away, allowing them to be instinctive athletes, which they are. And that's what put the blood in the water for this defense, and I think really turned the tide. And it's cyclical. It fires up the offense. And I think if this Ohio State defense can do the same with kind of a banged up Michigan State offensive line, it could be a similar situation if they get off to a fast start.
You're right, Claire. When Ryan Day or Jeff Hafley talks about the defense, before they talk about the changes they've made or this or that, they credit the technique and the fundamentals of the players, because without that, none of the rest of it matters. But they are so sound. You can ask them to do complicated stuff, or you can ask them to do very simple stuff, and they still get the job done. And as long as things are simple and you're getting the job done, what is it? Keep it simple, stupid. Don't make it any more difficult than it needs to be until it needs to be more difficult.
Hashtag basic defense.
There you go.
Yeah. Isn't the wrinkle philosophy what got them into trouble last year?
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. Too many wrinkles, not enough irons.
I like it.
Absolutely. And Michigan State, somehow I did not see a play from this game against Indiana, but 40-31, I was surprised at what IU was able to do to this Michigan State defense that hasn't been touched going back through most of last season. Man, they were losing games 7-6 in the bowl game, and like that, the defense for Michigan State by every conceivable metric has been just about as good as any in the country for the past 15 to 20 games. And then Indiana comes to East Lansing last week and puts up 31. And like you say, Tony, had all sorts of success through the air. So it gives the Buckeyes something to look at on tape that's been successful for the first time in a long time against Sparty.
And Ryan Day was asked, how often do you look at what the team did last week that was successful? Like, will you do what Indiana did, basically? He's like, well, teams usually clean that part up before you get a chance to exploit it. So they might not be doing the same stuff that Indiana does, but they have enough stuff that they do that works. And as somebody mentioned there in the comments that Justin Fields hasn't seen a defense like Michigan State, they're absolutely correct. But Michigan State hasn't seen anything like Justin Fields or J.K. Dobbins or Master Teague or the passing game that comes from the play action or the many different formations that Ohio State has been using in the offense and what they could do with it. And this is Justin Fields, who on one play can run a quarterback sweep to the right. On the next play can throw from the right hash to the left sideline on an out and not be touched by a corner. So this is a very versatile offense where Michigan State has answers for everything defensively, but they're going to have to be, as you said, sound and, technique-wise with Ohio State. Michigan State, this needs to be their very best game on defense to make it a game, to just keep it close. They need to play their best game. Now we talk about, can they win? That's going to require mistakes from Ohio State.